Perfect.
That's short
We have
too.
way better pictures than that.
Hola, hey y'all. We over here critiquing our opening thing. We're gonna get our producer together. No, I'm just playing. How y'all doing? My name is Donnie Akeem, whichever you prefer.
And I am Brett Short Stack.
And that's period. And welcome to. We're still on season 1. I don't know how we're gonna break up these seasons doing a show once a month, but season 1, episode numero cuatro. I don't even know if is that 4?
Yes.
Cuatro. Cuatro. Anywho,
I feel like I need to ask Bella. She knows.
child, these kids smarter than us, honey.
Okay.
But this show is definitely going to be about the whole entire. I don't even want to say this current season, although that'll be the main focus. I want to say just the franchise as a whole.
I hope so. 'Cause,
We have some very.
I didn't get to complete this season, and I don't remember.
I probably can refresh your memory on some things, but this is definitely going to be about the Real Housewives of Atlanta now that the season is completely over, and there's been some, murmurs of a complete revamp outside of a few wives. There's been some speculation with uh Drew being the only person coming back. We just have a lot of thoughts, opinions, and views. But before we jump into that, last time we were here was August. Damn. What's been going on since then? Well, I'll let you tell what's been going on. I won't ask no questions. I'm sure you'll spill the tea.
I can't remember if I started school or not last month when we did the show, but I am back in culinary school. I am on my 5th week now, and I just passed my probationary period, so it's really real now because it's like once you get past this part, ain't no dropping out and stopping. Like you got to keep going. So
Did you get your financial aid refund check?
Not
Okay, those are beautiful, darling.
but it's coming.
That's period. Right in time for Atlanta.
Oh, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I don't know if I told you actually even, but I'm supposed to be doing a pop-up shop here at Sherman Phoenix.
No, she ain't tell me
next
shit, and we
week,
talk every day.
Saturday.
How you hold out on a bitch you talk to every day?
Tone, like he was like, he sent me the thing, said you want to do it, and I was like, fuck yeah. And
When is it?
It's next Saturday.
Next
Saturday, September 30th.
So then on top of that, I can't do last minute shit. And I work every other weekend mandatory, and that's my mandatory weekend. So I'll be at work from 11 to 8. So I'll be with you in spirit, of course, as always.
Of
but
course.
I can't make it.
I know you support me.
Yeah, child, always.
No
question.
I'll be here selling some of my Brit boxes, only the $25 boxes. If you want bigger boxes than that, you will have to order. But yeah.
Do you want to tell them what the Brit boxes entail for those that don't know?
It's basically a charcuterie board in a box, and it's really cute and fancy with flowers and fruits and different meats and gourmet cheeses. And
Jamal can attest to how good they are. I think anybody who was at Jamal's birthday party, you were fortunate enough to see it in person because I haven't even.
They saw it, yeah. They need to taste it. They saw it. Now,
that was for Jamal.
It was for Jamal. Well, so Berto ass got drunk. It was actually supposed to be for just his best friends that were there. So it was supposed to be for me, Berto, Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
Berto got drunk and forgot that he was supposed to have a box. So Jamal, I think, ended up with 2, and I ended up with 2 or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Right.
Berto. Friend. Shout out to Friend.
He did his typical thing where like he went around the party and made everybody take a shot, and he took a shot with him.
Lord. So that he ended up taking like 9 shots because he went to 9 different groups of people.
It was more than
that. Child. Touche.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll be selling my Brit boxes. I guess that's pretty much it. And then, what I told you earlier about them losing my child today. So,
Child. Yeah. So for me, I think the most exciting thing that's happening in my life, because it didn't necessarily happen to me, but Alex had her baby. I got I was fortunate enough to see her yesterday and the baby. Child, I don't hold newborns, but she insisted.
I knew
And
somebody was gonna get you. I wasn't gonna make you, but I knew somebody was gonna
I
get
do
you.
not like newborn. I love holding, but now I will hold a toddler up until they 22 years old. Yazzie had to tell me, "Can you please put me down?"
Right. Sir.
But I will a newborn until they're like 1. They scare me. I might break the neck. I have a traumatic experience. I threw a newborn when I was a child because I didn't know that they threw up on you. So I was like 13 years old, and my baby cousin threw up on me, and I just threw him. Luckily, God was in both of our lives because a bed happened to be right there. So he did fall on the bed. But ever since then, I'm like, no, keep them away from me. I'm good. I don't want to be a baby killer.
Oh my God.
But she made
Not
me
a
sit
baby
down and insisted. I held him for a good like 10 minutes. So
Good.
that was cute. So shouts out to Alex with the first nephew in my life. That's exciting.
Mhm.
I got to chop it up with her mom too, because her mom was there. That was
I
interesting.
bet mom's like, probably ain't finna leave her side, child.
Yeah, mama got 1 hour of sleep and had to go to work. So
Mm.
there's that. Also, since the last time we were here, I've gotten my graduation date. So that's exciting. December 10th, I will officially be done with MATC. Moving on to become a full-time student at UWM starting in January. So I'm very
Mhm.
excited to enter into my program. UWM and MATC actually have a program or some type of I'll just call it a program. I can't think of the actual word for it right now, but I'll get to enter into UWM as a junior.
Oh,
So
nice.
I will only have 2 years of school there, so that's exciting. And outside of that, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but it's always so much going on in my life that it's impossible to say it all in this short amount of
No,
time. I
you
could take the
mentioned.
whole
I
hour
don't
and a
know if you
half.
trying to mention it on here.
What? Oh, no, I think I said at the last show that my divorce was final.
Oh, you might have.
I think because when was the last
All of a
show?
sudden, it sounds familiar. You saying it on the mic.
Yes, yeah, I said that my last show, and yeah, that's last name changing, all that. Period.
Well,
So
just to reiterate,
the excitement. I am officially
he's single,
single, if you want to call it that.
and I get to live vicariously through him.
Yes, God, honey, and um, there's some interesting things taking place in the love life category right now that I'm feeling too. So that's always fun. New stuff is fun stuff to me always, regardless of what it is. So, period. That's it. So, girl, let's get into these housewives,
Oh
child.
God, where we going first?
Where should we start? Okay, what is your thoughts on the season overall of RHOA? Like, I know, but let the people know, child.
I just don't remember. Like, I just don't remember. Like, it wasn't unbearable. Like, I was able to complete it, but it wasn't.
It wasn't memorable to you?
Not really. I felt like, matter of fact, I think it's a bullet point in here about to answer this question in my notes.
While she's looking those up, so I was watching the season late, so for me it wasn't dreadful. A lot of people were saying that it was dreadful. To me, it wasn't dreadful. It just is a long way from its heyday. Like its time has come and went. I'm not sure that
Carry
I don't know. They lost their magic. It's something to do with background noise. It's not as engaging. That's probably the
It's
word I'm
not
looking
as
for.
engaging at all. So one of the bullet points I have is this season I did like when the girls got along more than they argued, actually, because the arguments they seem so trivial and petty for the most part to me. Like it just felt like people was trying to find a problem, to try to have some conflict, to try to like bring something to the show, to try like it didn't really come off as like these old ass bitches is really mad at some of the shit they was really mad about. Like, and I know we see childish shit all the time on these shows, but it just, I don't know. It just, for me, I was just like, really? This is what y'all giving us as far as conflict? I just wasn't here for the conflict.
I feel like
part.
we're missing those epic battles. Like one of the things that I hated, fast forward to the reunion, was when Candy and Sheree were going back and forth, and Candy was stuttering trying to get what she was like, what you say about shots, and you whatever, the shots went to your face. I'm like, okay, you can't even get your read out, so that's struggling. Sheree always stuttering, so there's stuttering Sheree. Like I'm like, neither one of them could get their reads out. I'm like, this is not
like
a
y'all
cute.
hoes damn near should have rehearsed this.
Right, and I think Sheree was rehearsed a little bit because she was a little bit quicker. Oh, right.
Like y'all should have sat in the back and rehearsed y'all motherfucking lives. Candy, you supposed to be an actress, bitch.
Right. She's not that great of an actress from what I've seen. Sorry, I'm not a big Candy fan. I think that's obvious. I respect Candy's hustle, and I feel like I have a lot in common with Candy as far as like the grind and the hustle mentality. But I don't like how messy she was this season. Her speak on it
I didn't listen to the speak on it. So I knew you was gonna mention some shit.
Her speak on it add to why it gives bias. It gives why you have a platform to clarify things for your audience and for your people without without other people interjecting into your opinion who were there. So we're just supposed to take this as this is your truth. It doesn't mean it's the truth. So to me, it's unfair. It's just one perspective, but people take it and run with it as if it's the truth because Candy is not a known liar. When I kid you not, Candy has been caught in lies on this show, including the producers just caught her in one this season when she said that she never said that Drew and them didn't kiss, and she did. She was like, she literally said it.
A few of them lied in that instance, though. I feel like everybody.
But then I didn't remember that LaToya said that she didn't, but then at the reunion said that she did. So LaToya's been going back and forth.
They treacherous for the clips, child. I believe Drew is the only one who maintained that it didn't happen.
No, they got her ass too.
They got her. Oh,
yes,
never mind.
Yes. So
see, everybody flip flop. How we supposed to know what the truth is?
They didn't get Drew with LaToya. Let me be clear. They didn't get Drew with LaToya. But that season they asked if she had ever kissed a girl, and that season she said yes.
Oh yeah.
But then this season she said no.
No, that's true. They did. I do remember that. Now that you say that, I do remember that.
So they've all been caught in lies. I hate this narrative that Candy is
some bullet points on
above reproach, child.
And so, since you brought that up, okay, look. So, because that's one of these bullet points on here. The Marlo and Candy argument about the nephew. I only 50% agree with what Marlo said.
What did Marlo say, child?
I don't agree with her perspective of the whole nephew thing just because of the details that her and Candy agreed on while they was arguing. The nephew was no longer working there any longer. And I forgot the other one, child. I don't feel like reading bullet points. But it was something else that they agreed on as well. So I was like, okay, knowing these factors, why was she so like? Why was it so? Why didn't you send the flowers and why didn't you show more compassion? And I just didn't I don't know. I just felt like it was overkill. Now, that's just that little portion though. Everything else that she had to say about how they sugarcoat with Candy, how they tiptoe, and what about the incident at your they do that with her.
Put a pin in that with the incident at the restaurant because Drew blew me, but continue.
That's a bullet point on here too, because she blew me with that as well. And then when they showed the confessional, everybody's faces, that's how my face looked as well.
We don't say killing in Chicago.
Girl.
Bitch.
Girl.
Stop it.
You just you and your family,
Right.
maybe.
Stop it.
Don't
No,
speak
not
for the whole
even.
city of Chicago, baby.
We don't say
Don't-
killing. It's
girl.
so traumatizing for us that we
Mr.
don't
Chicago
say.
and
Hello, no, that's definitely not true.
thank you.
I have family there. I'm from
I do
Chicago.
too.
I spent
Like,
every other weekend in
ma'am.
Chicago growing up.
Chicago ain't nothing but Milwaukee's cousin. Goddamn,
Hello,
like, bitch,
Milwaukee's big cousin.
like,
Okay,
they definitely say shooting there.
they definitely say shooting, killing, stab, whatever it is.
But yeah, like everything else that she had to say about Candy though was she's selfish. Everybody tiptoe her. It's favoritism with her. Like yes.
Candy has annoyed me to the max. I don't like messy Candy.
I don't either.
And
I
I
did
had
not
to
like
point
her
out
this
something
season.
to Alex about Candy getting involved in people's marriages and their divorces.
She been doing that.
But let me tell you this. Let me tell you something. If this is how I know that Candy is not a real friend to Drew and that she doesn't respect her. You, me, and a few of our other friends are in a setting, and I know for a fact that you kissed the girl, and I fuck up and say, "Oh yeah, you kissed the girl." You say, "No, I did it." In my mind, after I say it a second time, like, I thought you did. You're like, "No, I didn't." As a friend, I'll be like, okay, so let me go through my brain of she probably don't want to talk about this. She don't want these people to know there's something going on. So I'm like, girl, my bad. Child probably was drunk. I will definitely I was drunk, bitch. It could have been, you know what I'm saying? And then talk to my friend privately later, like, bitch, why we not admitting this? Like, what's tea? You know?
And it's crazy because she was protecting Portia with that bolo shit like
yes.
a motherfucker.
Yes, she was. But she respects Portia and she likes. That's what it's given. Because you didn't do the same thing for Drew.
The dungeon.
But yeah, they had grown past it by the time that happened.
I know they did, but my point is, Drew ain't never did shit to you. So and all she did was kiss a bitch. You couldn't keep your mouth shut.
But it's because Portia let Candy tell it. Because remember, her thing is, "Don't call me a liar," which I get. Look,
apparently
I get it.
That's a trigger for her.
I get it. Don't call me a liar if I'm telling the truth. But also have enough respect for your friend to maybe think outside of yourself as to why maybe this is not something they want to discuss in front of a group of people. And
I would definitely would have had a conversation with her off camera after that. Like,
yeah, like, bitch, what's the lie? Let me, like we always say, let me know
this?
so I can lie with you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, bitch, just want to have a conversation so we get our lives in order, bitch.
Right.
Bitch, we is not
I'm
the
a
same
terrible
page.
on the spot liar, like, bitch.
Okay, I need my lines.
Hello.
Let's work on this. Work with my shit. Okay,
this is what we're saying.
Like I just said, they should have been practicing in the back. We're gonna be practicing in the back. We're gonna figure it the fuck out.
And we've been there. We've had to get some lies together before, but I definitely would have picked up on it at least enough to stop. Like, child, okay, it's not that big of a deal.
And she's not ditzy or dumb or slow. Candy is pretty good at picking up on shit. So it wasn't like she just didn't realize it or anything like
Candy's
that.
Always
she
been
was doing it
because
you want. And that's why I was like, everything else that Marlo said, I agree with as far as her depiction of Candy's character itself by itself, because everything she said was true.
I've been saying that I've never liked
it really showed this season though. And like earlier in the seasons, you really had to pay the fuck attention. She was a lot more calculated. I feel like it wasn't as noticeable as time went on. And once she started feeling like she was the people's champ, she thought she could let her guard down. And I feel like people ain't really here for it. I know I wasn't, as somebody who started off as a Candy fan. I was like, honestly, she hit below Kenya for me this season. And you know that's saying major for me.
She definitely was for me too. I enjoyed Kenya more than Candy.
I did too.
But when I first started noticing it is when before Candy and Phaedra had their big blow up, why are you accusing Phaedra of having an affair on a national television show when in the state of Georgia, that can be a bone of contention in a divorce? Those southern states don't play about adultery, and those type of allegations and things of that nature can cause for a rocky divorce. So with you living in Atlanta, being from Atlanta, being married in Atlanta, there's no way you can tell me you didn't know that. I'm not even from there. Hadn't been married at the time. So how I know and you don't?
Not even just that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Phaedra had that conversation with her too when they were still cool. If what you said about Phaedra was doing was true, it's hard to believe that she didn't have a conversation with you about that as well, because she is very much so, she likes to be in control of her image. We all know that. And
Yes.
I feel like that's fine. It's, we just said, have conversation with your friend, get on the same page. You can't tell me she didn't do that if that stuff
And
was
then
really true.
also, in addition to that, let's talk about the fact that if Doug came to me to hide stuff in my garage from whoever he's
Oh,
hiding it
child.
from, let's talk about the fact that, first of all, I would have did it because I would have assumed you knew, right? But it wouldn't be something that would eventually come up in conversation. So why? Where the secret part? How come Phaedra didn't know that? I'd be like, yeah, Doug came over here and dropped his stuff off, and you would have been like, what? Or I already know. But how does that not come up unless you're purposefully not speaking on it? When you have a relationship with somebody, your friend's husband, I feel like those relationships are very sticky. You're not supposed to even really have too much of a relationship with them, if you want me to be completely honest, because that can get murky.
I feel
And
like it depends on like what the divorce and stuff was happening for too, because some people they end on good terms or whatever, and
that's
it's
true.
not that big of a deal. It's like
But
whatever.
that was not the case.
I was just about to say, but in this case, that clearly was not it. So it's like I feel like, in a lot of people felt like a lot of her decisions was Todd based, because Todd and Apollo was friends.
But there's a way for you to let your girl know what's going on without betraying your husband. First of all, you're not betraying your husband because that's not your husband's secret.
At the
It's
end of the
your
day,
best
her
friend.
and Todd was way too much into
Phaedra and Apollo's business. Period. No, period. They were. And we're bringing up season 7 just because I'm just going on a tangent about
an explanation
Candy's,
on
yes,
Candy, yeah,
of why and even before I started, I would say Candy was never my favorite. I never really disliked her until her and Phaedra had their tiff, and I see everybody just completely turn their backs on Phaedra. And this is not making an excuse for the allegations that Phaedra put out against Candy. I didn't think that was right, but I also was like, who would believe that? Like, who's going to believe that she's really like a Bill Cosby? I didn't think it was believable, me personally.
I didn't think it was believable, but that was the main reason why I felt like Portia shouldn't have repeated it, bitch. That was the dumbest shit. Like, girl,
you ever heard the saying that a smart person can play dumb, but a dumb person can't play smart?
mm-hmm.
I believe Portia know what she's doing. I believe Portia was in the mix. She had it out for Candy because she was Team Phaedra.
Mm-hmm.
But she was able to flip it at the last moment and act like she believed it because, like you said, conversations, right? Ain't no way in hell the reunion is the first time that I be like, oh, yeah, Phaedra told me that. Out of all the opportunities on the show for her to say, well, Phaedra told me, you never say it. I believe Portia was playing the game and she outsmarted all them bitches.
She definitely outsmarted everybody. If you really want to get technical,
yes, I believe Portia play fucking dumb. She plays it up. I believe Portia does have ditzy moments that also assist her in playing up this dumb character. Role, yeah. But Portia's far from dumb, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Far from it.
She was smart enough to get that rich man.
Hello, that part.
You loved on correctly.
And Portia, Nene's not. She told Portia at that woman, let's be smart, because Nene, like, first of all, you'll never be on Housewives again. You sued the fucking network. And she talking about some let's be smart, bitch. You went about it all the fuck the wrong way. You sued the fucking network. You trashed everybody there. At least Portia's like, well, you never know what can happen. I could come. Like, you want to leave the door open for when you making a bag like that. I'm not bashing you, bitch, unless, like, bitch, you shot my mama or some shit. Like,
I just really feel like at that point she had gotten so big-headed. Mm. I understand that the show was your baby. I understand you was the GOAT. You
can't nobody take that from her.
Right. I get all of that. However, when you get to a point of suing the network, bashing the network, allegations of racism and things
that you stayed there for, it wasn't an allegation of racism until I can't stand the opportunist ass bitch. I'm sorry. If you would have left season 8, like, I can't stand for this at the height of yo. You know what I'm saying? But you was okay while you was getting a check. It wasn't until they tried to cut you into a friend role, and now all of a sudden, That's my issue with it.
Mhm.
Must not have been too bad.
Exactly.
Or you a sellout. Which one is it? Like,
exactly. And she just was not here for that. So yeah, I think that
I don't know.
she definitely ain't never gonna be back.
She's
They won't even talk to her.
they don't want to mention her. Like, did you see they had to go
I saw
back
they
and
cut her
yeah,
out.
when they was doing the backlash was so strong though that they
They
edited
went back
and put her
yeah.
in. Yeah. But I was like, why would they do that? They petty
So
as fuck.
petty. So
And
petty.
you know, this is how you know this is where I belong in entertainment journalism, because a lot of people was like, oh well, probably legally they can't put her in there.
No,
These reality stars don't own their own
they
IP.
own that shit.
Yeah, Bravo owns the intellectual property of Housewives. They don't even get royalties from when this shit re-airs and shit like that. Only people like Natalie Nunn who were smart enough to negotiate those type of deals, which I do give her credit as a businesswoman. Only certain reality stars are smart enough to negotiate those type of deals where they get royalty checks and things of that nature for their appearances. So Nene doesn't own her own image as it refers to the show.
Right.
So they can replay. They cut that out to be specifically petty because they definitely could have left her in legally.
1000%.
So those people, I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about, child. But legally, they couldn't put her in there. Legally, my ass. But anywho, back to this season. Another thing okay, let's go to the revamp because I want to talk about. First of all, they said that there's going to be one girl who may get a peach and two that may stay as friends of. Who do you think deserves what? Who deserves the one peach?
That's hard.
Are you gonna say nobody? Is that why it's hard? Or
yes. It's like, listen, in these bullet points, I said, what is Candy bringing? How many seasons and her mama still on Todd's ass? That's literally.
She already told you, ain't no mountain high enough.
But I'm saying, like, what would Candy be without her mother, though, as her antagonist?
Not only her mother, her Don Juan, Carmen, Todd.
I was
the
gonna
people
get to
around
the
her
Candy's
save
gang.
her. Yeah.
Like,
Candy
literally,
Cody
her
clique.
ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Overpowers the fuck out of her. Like, we could literally just take them, get in her contract, go get her mama the peach, and take her ass off the show.
But you know, actually, Candy addressed that in the interview, and she did make a valid point. As much as I don't like her, I've been working on being really unbiased this year, as you know. So,
what was the point, Chad?
The point was that this show is to follow the lives of these 6 women, right? And she was like, you can say that I'm boring all you want to, but these people are a part of my life. So in following my life, you meet these people, and even if it's all the people around me are entertaining, it's still my life. So she's the only person in that circle, aside from maybe Carmen, that could fit on the Housewife franchise as a star of the show.
Well, then they need to add Carmen.
At this point,
we tired of seeing Candy, and I'm saying that as a fan. Like,
no, also I think with Candy, her story is repetitive. We know you're successful. We know that you could probably gonna open another business. We know that you and Todd are happy. We know your mama don't like him. What else can you give us?
Exactly. What else? There's nothing. It's been the same shit.
Nothing else.
That's exactly my point. It's been the same shit.
But that's why, like, that's why I would give it to Drew, the peach, and she's rumored to get it, and I get why.
I would be okay with her getting it, but watching this season back, soon as I saw her and Ralph, I was like, you motherfuckers was lying to us this whole season. Y'all knew y'all was on the brink of divorce this whole.
They've been on the brink of divorce since they got on the show.
True. However, you know why it bothered me this season was because I felt like especially the very first episode, it was overkill. I remember I notated it. It was so, oh my God. Love you. I was like, damn. The fuck? And then as the season went on, it was less and less and less. And I'm like, now we starting to see the real y'all as y'all getting more and more sick of each other as time goes on. Yeah, they've been on the brink of divorce, but they was really trying to front, especially that first episode. Like, y'all was forcing it too hard, bro. It was too much.
I don't know if it was that I feel like they was trying to front, but to me, Drew, deserves a peach because I don't want them to make the same mistake they made when they fired Phaedra. And that's not giving the viewers the chance to see how something that you all brought to the camera and made such a big deal out of.
What her supposed cheating on Ralph with
Yeah,
Ty?
we deserve to see how that ends.
What's
Like
your thoughts
we
on
didn't
that?
get to see how
finish
Phaedra and Candy would have or wouldn't
Got
resolve.
so
And I feel
cheated.
like we viewers were robbed of that. Now, my thoughts on that is that Drew is lying. First of all, she definitely been with the woman and she probably was with Ty, but I'm also like, can you fucking blame her?
I don't blame
You might as well tell the truth because as many times as Ralph has cheated on you, this man was in Tampa where Courtney happens to live. Did you catch that dirt? Yeah, that came out. I think actually Drew put that out a week ago. She was like, coincidentally, Courtney happens to reside in Tampa prior to moving to Atlanta. Now catch that dirt. But yeah, I
definitely don't believe that that's his cousin.
That's not his motherfucking cousin.
They
Even when Drew's sister Allison was coming in that room when she was trying to slam the door, the way she was talking to him, it gave me like she was too intimate, it just didn't sit right. And you know,
for somebody that you supposedly just met,
yes,
cousin or not.
Yes. And you're too like I have cousins I just met. Like you were you with me with the cousin that I just met that cousin like last month. Like I just met that cousin. We did not interact like that
at all.
At
all.
I
barely remember he was with us. Shit, he was barely even seeing him by us.
He was drunk as fuck. Like he was drunk as fuck.
Listen,
but me and him have had a few great nights, but we don't interact that way. You know what I'm saying? It was some female cousins I met as well. It's just weird. And I was telling Alex when I was talking to her about this, you know how like me and you talk and we talk to each other with certain banter and there's a certain inflection in our voice, but like when your bae call, you be like, hey, what's going on? Nothing. I'm just at the, you know what I'm saying? Like you switch it up. That's what it gave when she talked to him. She's like, so how are you doing? Everything okay over there? Like, I don't have time. I'm like, why are you speaking so soft, bitch? Right. Like, what's this little
all that touchy
je ne sais quoi in your voice, ho? Like, I
hate you. Not je ne sais quoi.
Like,
but she definitely has some.
Yeah. Oh, this is just too much.
Real breathy all of a sudden.
You deserve so much more than this. Like, so I'm Team Ralph.
And my thing is too, you done just met these people. How the fuck you gonna tell him what the fuck he deserve and don't deserve and this and that? You don't know these people marriage and relationship.
No, she had me fucked up. Not just Drew, but me fucked up when she sat on fucking Candy's show and said that she's been a better friend to Ralph in 6 months than Drew has been in their entire 9-year relationship.
That's ridiculous.
Bitch, are you fucking shitting me and kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
She had me completely I felt like she said that about me.
Listen, I don't like her.
I don't either.
That was the person she was the one person I disliked more than Candy actually this season.
Yeah, see, I didn't agree with y'all, but that's because I was behind. Because I am just now seeing some of the things and the switch up on Drew.
Yes.
And then these interviews are coming out, but I didn't have the full context because I was behind in the show. So I'm like, I don't like Courtney, but I mean, she's good for the show.
Nah, you had to see it. She was the only but her and Candy was at the bottom though. But she was the only motherfucker I disliked more. I thought it was very ugly. Very ugly. And I am not, a Kenya fan. I thought it was very ugly of her to say that when that woman fell, it was karma.
I felt like that was being dragged a little bit. Me personally.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe because I heard the explanation, and again, I formed this opinion before because I saw this interview before I watched the show to see how she said it or whatever. I feel like that was dragged a little bit. I wouldn't have took that much offense to it because, as she said, everything is karma for everything. She said, like, if I go walk down the street and bust my shit, that's karma for something that I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like that's kind of true.
But my thing is, when you were questioned in the moment, though, your explanation was ugly as well. That
I
was not
don't.
your original explanation of the situation. When they originally asked her in the moment, her explanation was because of the ugly things that Kenya has said and done to her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't had shit. Now, had that have been her original explanation in the moment, I would have been like, you know what, bitch, that do make sense. But that wasn't how you felt in the moment, bitch. You don't like her
I gotta
and you
add
felt like it was
another.
karma. I just feel like, you know how I am. If that's how you felt,
Say it with your chest, little nigga.
exactly. Stand on that shit.
Right.
Don't be trying to switch up now. Cause honestly, we all think ugly things at times
You
when we
always
don't
have
like
to say it though,
somebody.
too.
And we
But
don't
yeah.
always have to say it as well.
No, after you
So.
know we've thought some ugly things because some of the things I say is not even the tip of the iceberg of what I think. But I want to add another layer of another point of view to this. I also thought Kenya was dragging it, acting so injured.
I did too.
Girl.
I did.
So I'm like, girl,
I did
now
think
has she
that as
actually
well.
like almost been paralyzed or something like that? Then I could see why everybody would be like, okay, this is dragging it. But I'm like, Kenya, you fell like that was a normal fall, bitch. Maybe because you have this plastic ass BBL.
I was like, maybe it was the fake booty. Maybe it's because we forget, you know, bitch look good, but she is old. As much she don't want to admit it. Like, and when you get older, when you start hurting shit and bumping shit, it hurt more and longer than normal as you get older. However, it was a normal ass fall, and it
was nothing crazy.
Like it seemed very over dramatic.
Like when Drew fell, I could tell, and Drew's dramatic. But I could tell when she fell, I'm like, oh, something's wrong.
Bitch, but she had actually torn her like Achilles or something.
Yeah, but you could tell even though she's
you know what I'm saying?
She talking about some, I could have been paralyzed. Bitch, stop.
Could have been, could have, should have, girl.
You're not.
That's just as bad as Drew talking about some, we don't say shooting in Chicago.
Right.
Girl, stop.
Goodbye.
Okay.
But what I will say at the reunion, Kenya, I really appreciated her standing up for Drew.
I like
it was beautiful. I didn't like that. First, most of their fashions was a no-go. Actually, Candy looked the best.
I hated that you could see where it started at right here.
Kenya Wigs ain't never been Kenya's friend, so she should just promote her real hair and keep it at that. I know, but she wants to have versatility. But you know who else Wigs I don't like that I think y'all be living for?
Who?
I'm not the biggest fan of Miss Southern Belle's wigs either. Them platinum blonde ass wigs Phaedra be wearing. Now she be looking good.
I don't like them.
I don't be liking her wigs either.
I don't like
I
them.
like Phaedra the best with the brown hair with the brown tips. I mean the black hair with the brown tips.
Yes. Or the ombre thing where it starts black, brown, and then blonde.
Yes.
Like that mixture.
A full blonde hair. I'm not here for it.
Now, every once in a while, she pull it off well, but it's very far in between. That's not a flattering. I don't know if it's the color. I don't know if it's sometimes it's the wig itself.
To me, it'd be great. The wig.
Like, I don't know if it's your stylist, but.
No, her stylist, you mean her, what do they call them? I want to say hairdresser, even though that's what they are, but they call them something else. Because the stylist dresses you.
No,
they don't do your hair.
Hairstylist.
Oh, yeah, hairstylist. Okay. But. Because her style is immaculate. Yes, her fashions is always
the clothes head to toe, honey. Yes. She gives.
Yes, body is bodying, makeup be on point.
Especially now that she's not. I don't know this for certain, but I know that she's like signed a modeling contract. So
Wilhelmina.
She's doing, more modeling jobs and stuff like that. She's not necessarily taking on as many cases. So now that she's kind of stepped out of the professional look, honey, and really stepped into her fashions, honey. She ain't let a nigga down. So
Phaedra be serving the kids, okay? Phaedra is serving the kids. But back to my point, I appreciated Kenya for standing up for Drew at the reunion. It humanized Kenya to me. Actually, I think that started with her interview with Carlos King.
It did.
It definitely humanized her. Because you forget, I think that a lot of us forget these people are real people. Like these people are not acting. Like when we say we hate Candy or these are strong words and we act like they're characters on a show because to us, that's kind of what they are. But these real people,
1,000%.
And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that if I run into Candy at one of her restaurants, I'll be like, oh my God, hey.
I'm not. Nope. I want to have a conversation about what happened to me at Blaze.
Oh Lord.
I want to have a conversation, Candy. I know you don't know me personally, and I don't give a fuck. My experience at Blaze, I want some customer feedback, goddamn it, because it was awful.
Well, what I will say, I do have a friend that actually appeared on the show, her Candy and the Gang show, and he wasn't like a main character or anything, but he was in the background. I have to show you, 'cause I haven't even seen it. He told me this, so I have to go back and rewatch. But him and a few other people I know that have met Candy have said that she's really nice in person and sweet in person. So I can see that.
I still want to have a conversation about what happened.
No, but what I'm saying is that for me, like I don't know if it's this because it is still edited. We have to keep that in mind that these things we see 2 minutes of a 30-minute argument and form an opinion.
Sometimes a couple hours argument.
Yes. And we see 2 minutes and then we form an opinion based on what we are shown, and very strong opinions, might I add. And we really don't know all the ins and outs of everything.
Yes.
And then some of the people who get bad edits do make good points, and sometimes it is a cop out, but producers do have favorites. We as humans, we're biased naturally. We're gonna gravitate towards people we can relate to, whoever that may be, and those people get generous edits. So
speaking of that, because I got a bullet point in relation to this.
To editing?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the incident where Marlo and Sheree, well, Sheree claims she ain't kicked it though, but Marlo and Sheree and the other girls, they was on the trip for Kenya or whatever. She was supposed to be performing at the halftime show or whatever for the whatever classics. And Marlo came banging on the door, mad. I can't remember what led up to this because I was watching this during work, child. But Sheree,
Kenya didn't come somewhere because she was sick,
right?
And they were going to check on her, I think, or something like that.
But Marlo walked up yelling immediately. She was
antagonizing Kenya,
on fire. Sheree was like, "I ain't kicked the door." You may not have kicked the door where it actually made sound. However, you was laughing and you was egging on Marlo because that was the whole point in you doing the leg motion in the first place, was to kind of like hype her up type shit and kind of make a joke out of things when Marlo's behavior was not funny.
No.
So whereas you trying to blame everything on the production, they may have edited in a sound to make it seem like you actually hit the door, but you still did the motion. You still provoked what was going on. So you're still guilty, bitch. You focusing on this one sound. It don't matter if you kicked the door or not. You
participated.
Exactly. And Sheree do that a lot. She will focus on one little part where she can try to prove the truth and completely negate everything else. And that's why I can't really fuck with Sheree like that, because she never take full accountability for anything. And she has not done so ever since, for me specifically, since that situation with Kim Zolciak, when she was talking about racism wasn't real. So I've been pretty much done with Sheree since then. I'm pretty much done with Candy. It's just like
Sheree hasn't given me anything since season 4.
She ain't gave us nothing. And that's another bullet point on here. What is she bringing?
Nothing. She by Sheen. She by she ain't shit. She by she ain't done yet. She by that's somebody else's clothes.
Did you see the video I sent you of the person who said that they helped her with the?
Yeah, and she tried to pull a receipt on the reunion saying she paid him, and she still
and then he was like, "No, the fuck you didn't."
And
bitch.
Rowan knows it.
Child.
Yeah, child. In my opinion, Sheree is trash, and for her to come at Drew about bills, you're the last person.
The last person.
I wouldn't even acknowledge Sheree coming to me about bills.
Okay.
Girl, do you own
Sheree
your home?
All people.
At that, when you have that type of
that's
money,
one time
do you
Candy
own your home?
Say,
right.
You can talk about paying the bill, bitch.
And then, right, but Candy tried to come at her at the reunion. What she say? Sheree was like, big face, little face. I didn't get what that was supposed to be given either. And Candy was like, the only faces you need to be worried about is on bill. It was something to do with money, but she didn't deliver it right. And that's the thing. Like, Nene would have ate that. Even Portia would have ate that, delivered it right. Like,
I feel like Portia, Yes, I feel like with Nene 50-50. After that one reunion with the leads being displayed, I ain't been able to come back from that with her. Like, girl, you really disappointed me.
all about
I
that.
will never.
I forgot all about that.
She disappointed me. I will never forget that.
Yeah, what did it say? What did she say to Eva? You were licking bottoms to get on top.
No, you know what? Somebody had a really good read during Marlo. I was like, now, Marlo, that was good, bitch. I didn't remember hearing that. Let me see. Hold on.
I forgot Nene wrote down her reads that reunion.
I was so disappointed.
But no, Portia was the star of that reunion.
Oh,
she came in telling what it Eva was trying to call her old, and she was like, well, you're no spring chicken. She was like, yes, but you are an age 10.
Okay.
And when she told her titties was social distancing,
baby.
When I first saw that, I had to rewind that like 5 times.
And you could tell that was off the
Yes, it was.
Because she was mad. Listen, when cancers get mad, don't fuck with us. When cancers get mad, we say some crazy shit and it be funny and it makes sense. We will get you the fuck together when we angry. Leave us the fuck alone. I had to get a couple people together at work today. I'm like, they better go. But
I'm gonna let her big up cancers for now.
Shut up. Marlo, I said specifically Marlo ate in the confessional when she says, and I quote, Monyetta kiss more ass than Kenya eats. I was like, damn. Oh my gosh, she gave me not
because Kenya admitted to eating ass, right?
Okay, so that's another bullet point where I was like, now look, Kenya wants some points with me. I love a pretty nasty bitch that'll eat some ass. I'm sorry, I do. I love a nasty freak. And I was very proud of her for being so open and admitting that because she really like all the girls present. Don't do that. And especially if she don't like all the girls that's present. Right. So I was like, oh, okay. So for her, especially with Marlo,
I think that a lot of them be lying. Marlo, for instance, be lying about their sex life.
Okay. For instance, and I didn't notate this, but I saw it right before I came. When they were getting ready to set her up with the dude and she was sitting down and she was talking to her 2 managers or whatever, and they was like, okay, we're going to set you up on a date. She was like, what if he touches my butt? Marlo.
You was a grown-ass woman.
Marlo, look, listen. Okay, look. Okay, I know you don't want to be seen as a prostitute. Okay, I get it. Okay. But that was still a reach, bitch. What if he touches my butt? Bitch, you was a convicted felon that done slashed faces. You ain't worried about that man touching your ass. Come on now.
You know what I think?
You know how to handle that. Stop playing.
Marlo is from a generation. She's of a particular age. And all of these women are, with the exception of maybe Drew and Candy. They're from a particular age group where sex positivity wasn't even a thing. And they're sex shamed. And so I feel like even though they're trying to portray themselves as more liberal, because that's what's in now, right? Everybody is pro sex positivity. Yeah. So they say, they still have a bit of how they actually grew up and who they really have grown to be in them. Because if I was Marlo, I would play into it. Bitch, once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe.
But I would have said, is he gonna touch my ass?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't agree with her saying that. I would, if I was Marlo, I would play into this prostitute role that you are, whether it was true or not.
That, or I'm gonna ask something else. Like, what if you try to kiss me on the first date, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just felt like.
But I'm thinking of overall because she does that a lot. Like I don't even like Candy, but I hate the. And Drew did this too, and I'm like, Drew, you're sexually liberated. It's another freak event from Candy, and here Candy go with the
Marlo
sex event.
And Drew always do that.
Candy talk about anything. Clearly, she does. She has very successful business outside of sex,
right?
So clearly, she talks about and does other things. You try to paint this narrative because y'all know she's a sex positive person, but I had an issue with her calling people whores. You're sex positive, bitch. What the fuck you get off calling people whores? So don't you want people to explore their sexuality?
She called Marlo a whore?
I think it was Marlo. I can't remember who she called a whore, but it was just in the confessional I watched of an episode or 2 ago. But I'm like,
I feel like if she said somebody was a whore, it was
Marlo. And it's like you're trying to shame her for dating old men and sleeping with old men. Who cares?
She always has been the one to be like, well, she dated an older white man, and like she does. She has kind of like
who cares?
I don't really remember fully, but if I vaguely enough, I do remember she has, for somebody who's so sex positive,
Right.
as soon as you get into it with Marlo, you bring up, her past, her police record. She's supposedly done slept with this man, this and that and that and this. Girl.
And now it's one thing, because let me tell
And
you
you was
something.
also the main person who's always like, you ain't supposed to tear a person down on Mad Day. Now, just 2 years ago, y'all was cool. You just met her mama. But
Now you
now
tear her down on Mad Day.
Exactly.
But I have to clarify, because I am a person who, when I get upset, I will go for your jugular and say some things that I probably don't even disagree with. Like,
But
if
now
I
people
know that
that's really
calling
your
you a
friends.
whore is gonna hurt your feelings,
they
I
really
don't give a
friends.
fuck that you a whore. But I know that if I call you one, that's gonna affect you.
If I'm
So
mad,
exactly.
yeah.
So I'm gonna call you all types of whores. But to me, it wasn't giving Candy was upset and trying to hurt her, because that's different than. Because like with Erica
when
Mena,
Kenya was saying it show came off that
like
way.
with Erica Mena talking about, I don't think Erica Mena is racist, just because I think she was just trying to hit low because she was hurt. That's just my viewpoint on it. So I get it. I get that mindset, because I could say some colorist shit when I'm mad at somebody, like, you black ass. I don't mean I'm colorist because of what I'm saying in that moment to hurt you, because I know you're insecure about that. That's how I feel, because I've been there. So I don't, with Candy, I think that was coming across as like a really judge, like she was judging. Like, it wasn't a Mad Day thing. It was, she was judging her.
Mm.
And me personally, if you a hoe, you better be the best goddamn hoe, like Boo said.
Okay, fine.
You better be a rich hoe, a pay hoe. But I'm here for hoes. Hoes gotta eat too.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
But so I've established that I would like Drew to get the peach. You don't want nobody to be a friend of.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if Drew got it.
This season was Drew's season. Let's be completely honest.
Like, even though Marlo had a lot of conflicts, I feel like she didn't really give us nothing.
And I'd be so disappointed, because I was actually here when Marlo first got her peach.
I know you.
I was here for it.
I was too, actually.
And she hasn't
I've
given
always
us nothing.
wanted her to get her peach, but the things that she chose to like battle about and bring to the table, I just could have did without it. It was boring to me. It annoyed me a little bit, actually, and that was
Marlo
the first time that she's ever really annoyed me. She's never ever annoyed me ever before. So
no, she annoyed me when her and Portia got into it in Brazil.
Oh yeah, no, that did irritate me.
I'm like, girl,
that was ridiculous. Anyway, that was ridiculous.
She wanted Portia to jump on that ass.
She just wanted, and
she annoyed me when she was trying to get in between Bolo and Kenya and Portia.
Bring that up now. Because she went so hard for Candy that season. Every time she got into it with Portia, she couldn't wait to be like, you ain't said it when you said it. You ain't said it when you said it. You ain't said it when you said it. Every single time.
Nene too.
But the moment she didn't react to something the way you felt like she should have reacted, all that when y'all couldn't discuss nothing. And then you wait 2 whole years. My thing is this too. You waited 2 whole years to tell me you was mad about something it's going to be hard for anybody to receive. Anyone.
Why you
2 years? It's hard for me to believe like you really gave a fuck. I'm sorry. 2 years. And then her reason, I wrote this down in the notes. I haven't seen her. This your close friend that you was expecting to send flowers because your nephew passed that used to work at her restaurant before he died or whatever. Stopped working there a few weeks or whatever long the time period was before he died. You expected her to send flowers, but you ain't seen her in 2 years. Y'all been friends for 10 years, but you met her mama 2 years ago.
Because they on the show together, so you've definitely seen her. You've been in her face. And so my thing with Marlo was she wanted to create an issue, but I get why.
I get why, though. That's what I'm saying.
That's all she had to do was say, you want Candy to work for her peach. Period.
That's all you had to say.
That's all you have to say.
The whole nephew thing, my family called me. It went from I was just expecting you to say more to my family called me. They were expecting flowers. Then my family called me. They wanted Candy's number. Why?
You know
for what?
Also, I feel like people can just be real too, because a lot of times people feel like they have to conjure up a reason why they don't like somebody. You don't. You just
You
don't
just
like
don't.
her.
Some
She
people
rubs
you-
you the wrong way.
Some people you just
Don't
don't
vibe
gel
with,
with. You and
yeah.
Candy have never really gelled. Y'all
And
never
that's
have.
fine.
And
That's
that-
fine.
it
I just
is
don't like
okay.
Candy. Like I
'Cause
just
that was
don't
just
gel with her.
ridiculous. But like I said, everything else though, she should have made Candy work for her peach. I just didn't like the topic she chose.
Candy been skating by since the
For
whole
a
lesbian thing.
long
So
Even before then, really. Before then, she had Kim as a storyline.
yeah, Candy been get Candy
She
is
been
the
skating her
definition of
entire time.
skating. She been skating. Even now, I feel like Marlon tried, but Candy's still skating. Like Candy
She tried, but Candy still skated, child.
Yeah,
Because there was a lot of stuff, and that was one of my bullet points. That's why I was irritated that Marlo chose this topic and it got dragged out so long. Because I was like, "There's so many other topics you could have chose to catch her up on."
Yeah,
Especially the Blaze restaurant situation by itself, because even Sheree, her and Candy, when they sat down and they had their conversation to clear the air, Sheree was like, "Candy, I brought 30 people to your restaurant to support you. We sat there for 3 hours and y'all didn't even have everything that we ordered. I never even spoke on my bad experience. Don't that sound familiar?
yeah.
Don't that sound familiar?
That sound real familiar. That definitely happened.
You know what I mean?
That definitely
So,
happened.
and we can't be the only people. Sheree can't be the only people. They could have really delved into that because a lot of people got a lot of shit to say. And that's some corrections need to be made in that motherfucker.
Yeah, Candy, I don't know. It seemed like it's a Blaze thing. Maybe I don't know because Old Lady Gang seems to be doing
Okay, because
fine.
Old Lady Gang was everything.
Hello, and that was my second time
Everything.
going there, and I've only been twice. And
Everything.
you trying to go again?
Hell yeah.
We go down there.
I already told our friends we was coming back, child. So I will say
The model
this.
guy, did you tell him?
So look, I was gonna mention him. Hey, Model Chavis.
Yes, I still follow him. He
So-
likes my pictures and stuff. Hey, how you doing?
He actually was just in the movie The Past. Candy put him in the movie.
I didn't see him.
So we'll watch it again together and I'll point him
Okay.
out to you. But yeah, he was in the movie. So hey friend, we're gonna be down there in December. So proud of you for being in the movie. Everybody check out The Past. I did tell him I was
Now,
gonna
is he
shout him
straight?
out. He is straight.
Okay, so because I didn't know it wasn't because I wanted to do something straight and gay while we was down there this time. So we
He
gotta.
gave me gay vibes, but he said he was straight.
It's Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. Okay.
Tell me anything in Atlanta, okay?
But everybody check out the movie.
That dude I met when I was down there, not the one I met with y'all, but the other one that I met. He was talking to me. He was
not the
like,
crazy one.
no, not the crazy one. He was like, yeah, my baby mama don't. I was like, wait, what? Your baby mama? I was like, you're a whole queen. Like, you're the type of gay that I could spot you out and be like, you're gay. But he's this big guy with this big truck and this. I'm like, that's all it takes down here. So you, okay.
Listen, I have my gaydar right here. Try it
Child.
if you want to.
But he does be giving me he does give me gay vibes, but whatever. I think I saw a video of him at the Marquette. That doesn't going to a gay bar does not make you gay. I just want to clarify that. So, but that in conjunction with the fact that you already giving me vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little. I don't know, but either way, how about we invite him to both and let him decide where he wants to go? Where you gonna pop out
Where
at,
you gonna
sir?
pop out
But yeah, I think that overall, this season was not. It's a fraction of the heyday, child. The Dream Team, Phaedra, Portia, Nene, Kenya, even Candy and Cynthia.
But all of them together though is magical.
Yes,
Like,
that was magic.
if we could get like for the one time like an old reunion cast season.
It will never happen because of Candy and Phaedra, though.
Candy and Phaedra, and because of what Nene did.
Oh yeah,
It's sad.
so those three elements right there are prevented from ever happening. And you cannot replicate that type of magic. You have to get, in order to have that type of magic, nobody that was involved can be involved because it has to be a whole new dream team.
Mhm.
It cannot be anybody, no mixture of anybody else, because that was the dream team.
It
Seasons
was.
5 through 7, Housewives of Atlanta, golden era.
I'm watching it back now, and it's like the first like season 1 through 4 that laid the groundwork, right? That gave us
pegged everybody's interest. Like, well, who is
and
these
gave us
women?
like the
Yes.
structure, the introduction, and all that shit. But the seasons you just named,
5 through 7.
them motherfuckers was the ones that made them household names,
Yes.
staples. Them seasons is the seasons that like really put them over all other reality shows.
Yes.
Honestly, probably just period.
No, me and Alex were talking about how we used to schedule our lives around when that stuff came on.
Same.
Like,
I still do.
Yeah, I don't anymore.
Me and my mom, well, not for this season, but me and my mom, when the seasons was still good, Sunday, we cooking at your house, we cooking at my house. You know, Housewives come on at 7. You know, we got like.
And then I used to obsess over them. Like, I would watch it with my friends on Sunday, and then I have to watch it again by myself because I got to see what I missed when I was with them. And then you got to rewatch certain scenes because they were so entertaining. And like,
and now I gotta go back after I watched this. Now I gotta go have a forum with your ass and argue with you about what we done watched. So, as if we're debating for school or some shit.
No, for real. Or like an opinion or a viewpoint. Like, let me go watch this clip to see if I can get something new from this. I feel like after season 9,
love doing that. I love going back, watching stuff that I felt one way about and attempting to get a different perspective.
You know, I actually want to do that with Basketball Wives. I've never done it. I've done it with Housewives so many times.
It's so stressful. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of those situations I still felt the same way about, or I felt even more strongly about than I did before.
Well, I would love to watch it because we were 19, 20 when Basketball Wives started. And now we're like in our mid-30s. And so to watch it back, I just want to see, like, because 19, shit, I was still fighting my damn self. So I'm like, bitch, slap that bitch.
Yeah, Hulu, Paramount Plus.
Right, no. But, like, I was a hothead at that time. So, of course, I was an advocate for slapping a bitch. But now I'm, like, realizing that these hoes are still older than me while they recorded this. They're in their 40s. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm wondering if I would think.
And that's another thing, too. So I'm happy you said that because that's another thing that was irritating for me this season is like, okay, we've had so many seasons of this same dynamic. Okay, I'm mad at you for this. You mad at me for that. I'm mad at we didn't really see no real grown person resolve like that this season. The conflict is one thing, like whatever. But as grown ass older women, though, I personally look more to see how y'all resolve it after y'all done went as low as possible or whatever the fuck. Like, now let's see how y'all resolve this shit.
I'm glad you said that because that also reminded me of something I wanted to say before we get out of here. I'm also not entirely convinced that the cast is the issue. Production
not convinced either.
Sucks.
I think that their
if you look at the way that production is producing, they don't tell the story well. They show stuff like
their edits are awful as hell now.
Bad as fuck. I'm like, where is Carlos King at, child?
And that's what I was getting ready to say. That's why I was posing like this because I was gonna say ever since they lost Carlos.
Because to me, Carlos know how to make a story full circle. There's stuff that they showed us we never got to see anything about it afterward. Like Kenya's salon. Like what's really going on?
In the interview, him and Kenya, did you see where he said he never told Phaedra that rumor?
Yes, I did. I don't know if I believe him, but he did also make a valid point in what he said. And this is something that I was going to tell you. I forgot who about. But it was this point, the point I remember, but I forgot who I was going to tie it in with. But what he said was, there's certain things you're never going to be able to live down because the general public already has their mind made up about it.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Kenya being a villain when he was like, she's actually very sweet. And he's like, I'm never going to be able, a lot of people are never going to believe or never, I'm always going to be painted as the person who told Phaedra this rumor or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So, regardless of what the truth is, he's okay with it because that's the price he paid to be in the public eye. But the public believes this, so it's true. And I was going to tie that in with somebody. I was going to say,
I have to say this.
I wish I could remember, but what you got to say?
I used to love me some Kenyan. One thing that reigned true.
You knew her before she was on Housewives.
I knew. you just reminded me of another thing I wanted to bring up before we leave. I did know her from Twa and a lot, I love my 90s sitcoms. She's been on every single 90s Jamie Foxx show, The Parenthood, like Wayne Brothers, The Fresh Prince. She been on all of them fucking shows or whatever. So I knew her as this black Barbie actress. So when her and Portia got into it about the whole Miss USA thing, I'm like, well, bitch, I ain't know you was that either. I knew you was the girl from the 90s and all them shows, bitch. Like, the fuck? You were the black Barbie doll. That's what you were.
I can see Kenya now saying that's because of your age, darling.
Whatever. Whatever. The point is, that's what I knew her from or whatever. Not everybody is going to know you from that.
And if you're not in the pageant world, like Miss America, Miss USA, I didn't know there was a
yeah,
difference.
I didn't know. I never.
Well, it was the same thing.
I knew that there was a difference, but I didn't know what the difference was. So
and who gives a fuck, really?
And I was gonna say, and I never gave a fuck to find out because I'm not in that world.
But I do also, as an adult now, and since we're talking about it, I never thought about it until just now sitting here. As an adult now, if you're gonna be the host of an event, you should at least know the titles of the people that's there.
True.
So, but also,
I think she dragged
human
it out.
Things yeah, she did. We're human. Things happen.
Right.
And Portia is very possibly could have gotten confused and said the wrong thing. After you corrected her, that was the end of it to me.
Yes, yes. Now, the other thing I was going to say was about Drew. Fuck, I lost it.
Drew?
Yeah, it was something about Drew.
Well, I will say that the only person I knew before Housewives was Candy.
I was going to say how I knew of Drew.
Oh, well, of course, Drew, I knew of her before Housewives.
So with Drew, and it's going to tie into something that she said on the reunion. With Drew, I have personally followed her acting career through, because she's done many. I'm really into independent like films and plays.
She done a lot of TV movies too.
A lot of TV movies. I've seen
Crazy,
literally
Sexy, Cool.
I've seen all her, even before then. Like, she has like these super old plays. Like, she has this play with David E. Talbert. He was Tyler Perry before Tyler Perry was Tyler Perry. Like, I've seen a lot of
Michelle Williams in one of his plays.
Yes, yes. Well, my husband doesn't know that came after when he had a little more Cohen. But anyway, I've seen a lot of her like underground work and then a lot of her sitcom work and stuff like that. So she had made a comment on the show like they weren't trying to pay me correctly on the pass. And I don't know what the conversation was, so I can't fully say that wasn't what it was, but it came off to me, the way she sounded to me, as if she thought she was a little bigger than her britches. Baby, you all right.
So I didn't see that, but let me tell you how I'm probably gonna take it. I think that, first of all, we know Candy's cheap. Let's start there.
We do know that.
And most rich people are. So let's be very clear. But with Drew being in so many movies and getting a certain amount of coinage, I'm sure what she was asking for wasn't unreasonable.
I don't think it was necessarily unreasonable. And I don't know what the negotiation was. That's why I said that. Like, I don't know what the negotiation was. I don't know what she was asking for, and I don't know what they offered.
Drew doesn't give me $1.2 million.
No, it wasn't giving charade. But it still gave charade. It gave ungrateful. It gave like,
but let's be clear,
I'm above the bullshit. I don't know. It was,
when it comes to the acting world, she is above Candy inside.
No, she is, but it gave
she above Kenya, if you ask me.
It gave off an arrogant vibe that you don't have to do. Because
maybe I should watch it. I have to see it,
please, because it gave off an arrogant vibe. It didn't match your body of work.
I guess what I'm saying is that I just have to see it to believe it, because Drew's never given me that.
Well, go and watch it.
Drew's very insecure.
That's why I don't
understand why.
And she wasn't when she was talking about her acting career.
That's another thing. When
she was very
that I didn't like from the clips I saw from the reunion, because I haven't actually watched the reunion in its entirety. But from the clips I saw, another thing I didn't like was them trying to comfort Drew's look. First of all, Sheree,
what about her look? What's wrong with it this time?
When Candy,
they've been tearing this girl look down since she been. I'm sorry to cut you up, but they've been tearing her look down since she came on the show.
And I don't know why, because she's not an ugly girl. So her body shape does give Victor twins, but
It's giving SpongeBob.
It does give SpongeBob, but she dresses it up well, and she's a
She
pretty
does dress
girl.
well.
And
Mhm.
from my understanding, the rest of y'all with y'all banging bodies have all had some type of surgery.
Listen,
So
Candy looked like a box. She like a motherfucking rectangular Amazon box. Even with all her body of work, she like a square ass. She looked like this table. She looked a mess. She need to do it naturally. It looked terrible to me. Every time I see her when she put on some clothes, some tight fitting clothes, I'm like, ugh. Like your man really like that bumblebee wasp bullshit. Like,
did you see
and then
her?
you short, it don't look good.
Did you see
It
her trying to be
don't.
sexy in her new video? I was like, Candy trying to be sexy is cringe. I was cringing, like, girl, get up out that tub
It don't look good.
and go do something
And you
with
know
your
what?
life.
Who else booty actually didn't look good when I was watching earlier, and I was very disappointed because your booty is natural and it ain't supposed to look like a fake booty. Sheree. It was when specifically at the dance studio, when they were doing a little dance competition or whatever, she had on these like gray bluish pants, yoga pants or whatever, and they had like white accents or whatever. And she was standing at the side. Me and Doug was sitting there smoking. Just got to look like, whose ass is that? It almost looked like Kenya's. I was like, girl, your shit is real. It's not supposed to look like that. I don't know if it was the pants. I don't know if it's too much booty exercises, but it did not look good in that specific scene.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if other people have gotten their butts done.
It was giving
Kenya's
big ass
the most
bullets.
obvious. Kenya needs to stop lying.
I wish she would just admit it, girl. Just.
But you know who? What they aggravate me is trying to say Portia's is fake too online, like not on the show, but. Portia was on the show on Watch What Happens Live. She's like, "This is corn," and she got up in front of Ja Rule and it jiggled like real ass. You know how real ass jiggles.
If you remember, she's always had that kind of reindeer shape. She's
Yes.
always had.
She's gained weight, so of course her butt's gonna get bigger.
Right, but she's always had a booty,
Yes.
a big booty, and as you grow older, things stretch and grow, and that ass.
Now this
is
is the thing too. Like I believe Portia did not work for the body she currently has.
Not the rest of it. That's
she
torso.
she lipoed that out. So the fact that you gotta think about it, okay?
And
so
also,
she was also at first she was a certain size.
Waist, the bigger your ass and hips look.
She was a certain size. So if you're a certain size and you decide to get lipo sucked out of your stomach and your stomach is now flat, but you did not touch your ass, it is gonna look a bit disproportionate because it's not proportionate because that's not how you were actually built.
And that's tea from an actual plastic surgeon. That's why I said what I said, because I actually visited a plastic surgeon and she told me, like, she was like, you don't need your ass done. She was like, once you suck this like part in, your ass is gonna automatically grow because you're this is shrunken. This automatically is like I don't know, proportion, illusion, whatever. Your stomach shrink, the ass grow. Period.
So I think it's about what you do, whether it's natural or what you get focused on when you go get surgery. But in my opinion, Portia's ass just moved like it's real.
I started smiling because that's the ass I would eat expeditiously.
Ooh, child, I would sleep with Portia. Honestly.
Immediately.
Honestly, just move Simon on out the way, child.
Immediately.
I was gonna say threesome, but just go ahead and move Simon out the way. I would have did a threesome if she was with Dennis, but no. If she was still
Dennis looked like he was doing some. Listen, I love watching their season when they was in love.
Yeah.
Because baby, you know he had to been doing something. When he first come pick her up in that first scene, she had the white pants on with the red top, red hair. And she was like, "Ooh, daddy got them tattoos out for me." I was like, he be fucking the shit out that bitch.
No, you know what's crazy? How I know that like it had to be amazing between them because Dennis is not somebody I would look at twice. Like at all. But his personality and his swag and just how he, how he moved, I was like, even I would have got into it, yeah.
How he handled conflict, because Candy was giving them a lot of shit that season, and he
getting in people's business like Mama Joyce yet again,
as usual,
bitch.
and
Sorry.
he went up and hugged her. And that was just so, I was like, and it came off genuine too. Like, it ain't come off like, bitch, let me show you how to stunt, like she be trying to do. It came off like, bitch, let me hug you. You need some love. Like,
Candy, ugh, I'm so done talking about
Mm.
her.
Who else? Not like, we ain't talk about Sanya at all.
Child, that's how you
And that's
know.
not a coincidence.
No, it's not a coincidence. That's how important she was. I did not purposely come in here and say we wasn't gonna talk about Sanya. We both have qualms with Sanya. She's a Pisces, and that is a very poor representation of us. The sis is also Jamaican, and so is Sanya, and it's just very poor representation of a Jamaican. I don't know any Pisces who don't stand out in rooms that they are in, who don't exude a certain type of aura that makes you drawn to them. Sanya is a boring bitch. Even Cynthia, who's another Pisces, it was
She
something
gave us
more about
more.
her. Cynthia could attract you with her beauty in a room. You know what I'm saying? Like Sonya.
She didn't have to say nothing. Even Cynthia's
But
corny jokes.
Cynthia,
Because
what we not
love
gonna
a
do
corny
too.
joke.
Me and Alex got into it about this. What we not gonna do in hindsight when I watch these, because there's a page on YouTube called Throwback Queen. They post a lot of
I just saw that the other
old,
day.
like housewives arguments and stuff like that.
Yes, they had one of Nemini that just posted.
Dude, now that I'm older and I'm watching this stuff, Cynthia kind of like Jamal. You might have to rename Jamal, because it's like she says quick little quirks, and when you watch them back, you're like, oh, she really got this bitch together. Because when she told Portia was arguing with her about who Peter was fucking at the restaurant, and she was like, why was you driving over here? Your Rolls Royce, girl. And at the time, that shit didn't make sense to me. But when you look at the context of the full conversation, she was referring to the African that Portia was dating at the time. And I'm like, dude, she just killed her whole life right there. And I didn't catch it. And when she kept telling Phaedra, win the case. So
she done had a few actually. Cynthia, let me say this. Cynthia don't get the credit she deserves.
At all.
She don't. Because they always want, like Carlos said, everybody gets these certain things about them that's just they're painted on stigma. So for her, it was that she was weak, she didn't have a voice, she was up Nene's ass, she was up Kenya's ass. But no, Cynthia very much so stood on her own, and she very much so brought a lot to the, and ironically, she was one of the elements that we were missing this season. She did bring more to the show than people give her credit for. She did have them silent reads. She had her corny jokes. She was always planning events for the girls to do. They barely did any.
A lot of things went down at those events.
Yeah, like they barely did any events this season. And the few that they were supposed to go to, they didn't really get to do, like Kenya's halftime show or whatever that they took a whole trip for. The only thing I remember is
the Peach Social, Marlo's.
Which was a flop as well. Wait, no, not the Peach Social. I'm thinking of the charity event for the halftime show. Never mind.
No, they had the Peach Social. They had Sanya's
that
fundraiser.
Was the one where T.S. Madison was
at. They had the fundraiser for Sanya's Mommy Nation. They had
what's the name did good in that?
Marlo, Kenya. She was late and she made excuses. She was irritating the shit out of me. Like, be accountable.
But once she got on the mic, though.
But fuck that, bitch. You need to be accountable. And she
never is accountable either,
at
though.
the reunion too. And then she was the only person who didn't call Sanya when she lost her child. Like, bitch, grow up.
Definitely. You know, can I touch on this for a second? Now that you say that, Sanya, Kenya, every time y'all go on a trip, every time you open your mouth, this woman is constantly disregarding you and disrespecting you. And this is one of the issues that I have with you. Stop trying to have conversations with this bitch, trying to be cool with her and friends with her. She done already shown you that she do not like you. She don't care for you. Stop putting yourself in a position to be hurt or get into it with this bitch or anything. Just because y'all work together, y'all do not have to be friends. Y'all can keep it at a level of hi and motherfucking bye. Please. Please. Because that right there will be the last straw for me.
Yeah, she didn't call you because she don't care about you.
And she already just be disregarding the fuck out of you for you ain't never even did nothing to her for her to treat you the way she treats you, bro.
She don't care about you with that.
Like, please.
Next case.
Ooh, child.
So I'm gonna wrap this up by saying this, at least from my point of view. There's rumors of a complete revamp. I personally want them to hold off on it for a couple more seasons. I want to see if these ladies can turn it around. I would rather they get a new production team than fire the girls at least for a couple more seasons to see if something can work. One thing I will say, if you're going to get rid of anybody, get rid of Sonya.
Sonya,
Um,
Candy, Courtney,
uh,
Sheree.
so the only person I feel strongly if we were to keep the same cast about is Sonya. She adds nothing. Candy doesn't add anything either, but at least there's the connection of the group around her that she has history with, as well as her family dynamics that kind of help subside the strong feeling I feel about what she adds.
I think they need to have a talk with her about giving us something new to see, though.
And Sheree actually, yeah, she can go too.
She is bringing back the dungeon, though.
That doesn't excite me on camera.
well,
We've seen
shit.
that.
Well,
I would like to see the dungeon
I
in
was
person.
about to say it doesn't excite me for the cameras. It
But I
excites
would
me
love
in
to see the
person.
show,
I
yeah.
want
to go to the show.
Oh, okay.
But
As long as we're on the same page with that.
I'm not excited to see that on TV again. We saw that already.
You know, I don't want to see it on TV. I don't know if that's actually being shown on the show. I saw that on her Instagram.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
heard that she's bringing it back. She mentioned it on Speak on It as well.
Yeah.
But outside of that, even if the producers
so awesome.
even if the producers keep everybody, if it means if it's either keep everybody or get rid of everybody, I would opt to please just keep everybody for at least 2 more seasons, potentially 3. Let us see, now that they know that y'all own their ass, what these ladies give.
I think though this, if y'all got rid of Latoya, y'all need to get rid of Courtney.
And I don't understand why they got rid of Latoya.
I didn't like Latoya.
I didn't like her either.
But I would
But
have
I didn't
understood if
understand
they kept her.
why they got rid of her. And like even with Courtney,
If
I
that
can't
makes sense, don't
stand
tell me.
Courtney at all. But she makes
And see, that's what I'm saying.
she
like,
makes for good TV.
but that's my point. If y'all got rid of Latoya, and I didn't like her, but she made good TV, so it made sense to keep her, then y'all need to get rid of her too. What is we keeping her for?
And I think people get confused too when they want people on and off these shows, as I used to. As I used to as well. Like I used to be like, get rid of Kenya because I don't like her. But what we don't understand from a production standpoint is that these people have certain
actually
roles
don't
and
want them to get
obligations
rid
to
of Kenya.
fill. No, I don't anymore
Keep
either.
Kenya.
But a lot of people want them to get rid of Courtney, and I'm like, why? When Courtney, first of all, from a television perspective, if somebody can provoke that much of a strong emotional response from you, there's no reason they should leave, because that's what's going to engage you, because you have a strong emotional response. So if I was coming from that from a psychology standpoint, I would be like, we're keeping her because the people feel strongly about her, whether it's good or bad.
But see, that's why my excuse for getting rid of her ain't got shit to do with how I felt about her on the show. Simply, if y'all got rid of Latoya, y'all need to get rid of her. Or bring Latoya back as well.
I say don't make the same mistake twice. So y'all
I
got
say
rid of
bring Latoya back as well.
I mean,
and they made that mistake with Claudia, so they have already made that mistake twice.
From my understanding, Claudia turned it down. So they offered her a piece. Claudia did an outstanding job on her season.
That's I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I've heard 3 sources say that they did not offer her the peach. I don't know if Claudia said they did and she turned it down.
So Claudia has a show called TGIF on Fox Soul.
I do know that.
Where she alluded, she didn't directly come out and say she turned it down, but you know how Funky Dineva is. He tried to joke about her being fired, and she was like, "I haven't been fired from any job." Let's be clear.
That's why I'm like, I don't know what the truth is.
That would imply that you were offered to come back and you said no.
Well, she implied, but Carlos, Kenya, and Nene all said.
Now, when did they say that?
During them interviews, they all said it.
They didn't say that. I don't remember.
Because Nene made a whole thing about it. She was like, they should have offered her the peach. I really feel like they dropped the ball.
But this is the thing. Nene doesn't know if they did or didn't. Nene just know that.
That's why I said I don't know if it's true or not. Actually, all I said was they said
it. What you call wouldn't know either.
I never said I don't know.
Because he don't even know. You notice that things that I would think that he would know, he didn't know. Like he didn't know how much Jocelyn was making. So production's job really is just to produce. So they're not involved in negotiation for who comes back and things of that nature.
I don't know what's true and what's not. All I know is these people said this
but
out
the reason
their mouth.
I'm saying this is because I'm asking for clarity, because you said that you heard 2 or 3 sources say that
Nene, Kenya, and Carlos all in their interviews with Carlos.
but when you explained it to me, that doesn't conclude that she wasn't offered a peach because they would really have no way of knowing.
But I just said I didn't know if it was true. I just said they said it out their mouth. I don't know if it's true, but they said this out their mouth.
Well, from the camel's mouth, she implied that it definitely.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who is true. I don't know if what Claudia alluded to is true. I don't know what
Claudia
they're
said
saying is true.
I think Claudia actually, she said that I think the only place she'd been fired was from Celebrity Apprentice. So,
well,
let
like
her
I
tell
said,
it. She.
I don't know
I
which
don't
one
know,
is true,
but I
but
don't
these
think they
people
dropped
said
the ball
this.
on Claudia.
It's on his in their
'Cause Claudia
interviews with
was still
Carlos. You
during
can
the
see it on his
time-
page. And I'm sure you can see the video where Claudia alluded to it.
Yeah, it's on
'Cause them
Fox Soul.
videos,
But I feel like
Them
there's,
Fox Soul.
if we're gonna use our, like Nene said, let's use our brains now. That the videos that they don't hold any merit when it comes to what actually happened. And she could have possibly been fired and possibly not asked back, but I don't feel like those videos. I'm a very much so hands-on, hard cold proof person. These videos leave room for speculation, so for me, they don't suffice as evidence. But
I'm not saying it's evidence. I'm just saying that that's what they said.
I'm not saying, girl, I'm not debating with you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
speaking my opinion.
I just want to make sure other people know too. Like, I'm definitely not saying that this is what it is.
So I just feel like,
because anybody can say anything.
Exactly.
Wasn't no receipts presented. And you know, we is in a day and age.
But
of
when we're
receipts.
talking about what happened to you, I'm gonna believe you until otherwise proven. So when the camel say, "Hey, I never been fired,"
True.
until I have either A, proven yourself to be a liar, or B, there's evidence to support the opposite, then hey.
When you go on the common sense tip with that, it's like, okay, Nene likes to pick and choose when she is a part of information that like she shouldn't be privy to. So how you know that they offered this girl a peach, but you didn't know that you could save somebody's job or move somebody's seat next to you?
Nene,
you know what I mean?
First of all, Nene does a lot of semantics.
They just gave real, if you're going by common sense, it's clearly
Nene, I ain't gonna call Nene a liar, but she.
See now?
Thank you all for joining the show today. Definitely some passionate Housewives fans, so it's always gonna be an in-depth conversation when talking about these women that have been a part of our lives since we were in high school.
Yes.
2008.
Yes.
That, oh my God, that's 18 years ago.
We
19. Oh my lamb. These ladies went on our TV screen for a long time. No, that's 16 years. Either way, it's a long ass motherfucking time.
You good. You do the math. I'm too many cups in trying that, okay?
We finished a whole bottle of champagne.
That was the plan.
Of course. But we're gonna wrap it up. We gotta get out of here. I actually gotta go back to work. Cheers.
We never got that fan either.
Thank y'all for watching. I'm signing out. My name is Donnie Akeem, whichever you prefer.
My name is Britt Brat Short Stack, and cheers to the
Girls Night Weekend. We sleeping in your friend's room. And we'll see y'all in October. Oh my God, spooky season. Ooh, I can't wait for the next topic.
Ooh.
Yes, spooky season. We'll see y'all soon.
Tune in to the next show, y'all.
Period. Bye.